everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Vitaly again. Today we will talk about some techniques, but to be precise, one technique. There's a lot of confusion about this one. It's when we doing large areas, large washes, using technique wet on dry. So we have completely dry paper, but we need to do, well, that size of area painted seamlessly. I'll show you how to do that. First things first is how we organize our workspace. Waterproof board. I have piece of Perspex. Watercolor paper. Today I'm using absolutely very cheap cellulose student grade watercolor paper by Fabriano. I like that one for the student purpose. Absolutely brilliant, very good paper, very cheap. Then brush, synthetic brush, imitation of sable, size, you can see that size. The numbers are very different, vary from company to company. Pencil, just to draw the area I'm gonna paint on. I always have piece of kitchen towel, paper towel with me. Then we need something to do our mixes in. We need large, like a deep container. This one is absolutely brilliant. This one is made of ceramic, nice one. Obviously paints. I have my own palette here. And tip of the day, I will explain later how I use it and why. We bottle spray bottle with the water, just clean the water. Okay, we'll put it here, and I have container with water I'm gonna use for my work. So beside me. Okay, let's start. Why this thing here? This is to bring to life your paints. How it's done. Before you start to work, you open your palette, whatever it is, and spray water over the paints you're going to be using, or just everywhere. It will prepare your paint for work. Okay, so I will put it aside at the moment. All right, then I will place this thing here, and first I will explain why we have troubles with that sort of technique and where it comes from. Usually everything happens when you use too much water and the mix is very lean, and when it dries, the stain has distinctive fringe around it. So that is the problem. I will show you how it could be, happening. Any kind of color, but all I need is just a drop of, so that common mistake when we're painting, we have stain with the like a dome of water over. All right, so I will leave it to dry naturally at this moment. I will get back to my video when it dries, and I will show you what happens with this and why we always will be having trouble if we use too much water and when we're trying to do something and everything gets blotchy, and that is a very, very common mistake. Okay, I am back. So this stain is dry. As you can see, there's a very distinctive fringe, dark line around the stain. So basically, if you're using a wet on dry technique and want to paint large area and do it in some different parts, like you always have a risk of creating that thing. So we need to have to work around this to find a technique that will help us to avoid this nasty result. Now, I will draw a rectangular area here, which I will be painting. So I don't need it like to be perfect or something, so just forgive me my lousy drawing. So this is it. I want to paint this seamlessly, and I'll explain how it works, and I'm sure you will like this. First of all, a little bit of theory. To cover that area, we need to prepare a decent amount of paint. It's similar like you're painting the ceiling and you have a big bucket of the water, or not the water, sorry, the paint, because like if you run out of the paint, you're gonna make another mix and it will never be the same. And if imagine you painted something around here and you run out of paint and you go back and mix something, it will be darker, different shade, and that's it, ruined. So we don't need that. First, we need to create decent amount of material that we're going to be using to paint this whole area. Obviously, we need to think like ahead and maybe prepare a little bit more. It's okay. It's better to overdo it than do it less than we needed. I will use perhaps some nice red paint. So this is how it's done. I will mix the paint and bring the mix from here into there, this way. So I will use that. Loads of water in here. I'm kind of loading the brush with this and then bringing it there. So slowly. There is no need to rush things. Just bring all your water enriched with pigment into your container. So I'll try to mix more than enough. Okay, also during this process I have to make sure that this mix is not too lean, of course depending on your goals and what you're trying to achieve, but most importantly, don't overload it with pigment, because if there will be too much pigment, when it dries it will create this ugly, like shiny, like little spots. We don't need that either. Something in between, exactly what we need for this. Okay, of course I will test it before I do anything, right? I believe this one of the nice quinacridons, very good synthetic pigment, nice one. Okay, I think this will be, I don't know, let's make some more. It would be funny if I will run out of the paint during this video. Yeah, hopefully this will be enough. Now, before I start painting, I will try the consistency of the paint. How I think this is fine. All right, good. We will be using this stuff. Now, before I paint, I have to make my surface a little bit under the angle, a little bit tilted towards me. I will piece of fabric, maybe again fabric kitchen towel rolled, and I place it under the edge so I have a little bit of angle. It will help my paint run down, like under the gravity will help me. Now I will start painting. I will load my brush with the very big amount of material from here. From now on, I'm not using any water from the can, only whatever I have here. And I have to bring this in my, and this is important thing that's gonna be happening now. Since we will be painting this in parts anyway, each section that we're painting must have some sort of blob of water at bottom end in here, like that. Always when you have it that way, that section will, that end will never dry, or at least like for a very good amount of time. And whatever section you're painting, you have to kind of drag that amount of water. It's supposed to be present all the time. You kind of drag it down below. Okay, this is what we continuing to do. Always watch for that large drop or blob of water. Okay, so it's always present. Gravity helps the rest of the paint go down. It gathers here. While it's wet, that border will never dry, at least, as I said, while you're working. So I will continue this process in small sections. Also important thing, whatever happens, if you're not happy with the whatever done, never go back. You will ruin this area immediately. If something went wrong, you think like maybe not enough paint, wait until it dries completely and only after go in this area. Don't touch it, just forget about this at the moment. And that is technique for continuing. I'm always watching for that large amount of material at the end of the section I'm painting. Hopefully I will have enough material to finish that piece. Obviously I will. Happy days. I don't have to make this video again. All right, so far so good. As you can see, paint flows nicely, smoothly, no any seams or blotchiness. Of course, if you're doing this on nice cotton paper, it will be even better. That's 100%. But for some people, especially beginners who just starting to paint and using the cheaper options, I mean with the paper, it works 100% as well. Now, at some stage, when you're close to the end, we're gonna have to stop doing this, because if you think about it, this material perhaps will be enough to cover the rest of this. We don't want to, like, when we reach the bottom, excessive amount of water or like this paint gathered here. So at some stage, perhaps somewhere around there, I will stop doing this. I will stop bringing anything there, and I will use this amount to paint rest of the section. I deliberately will leave some excessive material. I will show you how to remove it. Also very important, if you miss something and you got, oh my god, there's too much water at the bottom, no problem. I will show you how to deal with this. So now you have, again, never go back. Forget about this. forget. Now, lots of material down this section. I will wash my brush thoroughly. I will dry it also completely. And now I will gather all this excessive material with my brush, but don't sweep. Just touch it and let all this stuff get into your brush. Wash it, dry it, and with the very gentle touches, you gather all this excessive paint. Brush is very thirsty, it will get in it loads of stuff. Don't, as I said, don't wipe it, don't sweep it along. You will get very bright. So and we will do it. Of course, you will require some amount of how can I put it, exercise, and you will get there. Okay, I think it's good enough. So this is it. This is how it works. Very little demonstration. Now you will be able to do any size of washes in wet on dry technique. So we're using wet paint on dry paper. It could be anything. If you would like to create, say, for the background, maybe, you know, a cityscape, say, that technique, very, very helpful. Mountains, whatever, that is the thing for you. So thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon in the next videos. Bye. Thank you very much.